Hey everybody, welcome back. Sorry I've been away for so long. Lots of stuff going on this end, but I got some questions on doing some follow-up reviews on the first video that I did. And so that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna go over the number of miles per gallon over like the first 5 months and look at the tire wear, and the exhaust. Primarily look at the wear and tear on the inside and the overall integrity of the paint, especially the front, which we'll go over as well. So I guess we can start off on that. All right, so let me get inside. We'll go over the miles per gallon. So I just put some gas in here, so that's the reason why you see 205 miles. I was down to 5 miles before I filled up, and as you can see, I'm averaging about 21.5 miles, and I'm not driving it really hard. Every once in a while I'll get on it. You could see the average miles over, say, a 300 mile, 325 amount of miles driven. It's about 47 miles on average. And actually, there you go, 321.7 miles that I drove. Took almost about just under 7 hours. So that's pretty much the average over the last 4 months. So combined highway and city, and most of mine is actually highway to get to work. That's about 40 miles a day. So the camera, love the camera, especially the backup camera. It's awesome. This part here that shows you the top and how close you get to the curb, in addition to how you're going into the parking space, and if you're getting closer, you have your sensors that go off. Gives you a super view on how your car is actually backing up into the system. I have, like I've mentioned, BMWs for a while. They have a great setup. I love this. So that's my opinion and my opinion only. So but it took a little bit to get used to, but once you got used to it, it really is something that I wish I had all along in the other cars as well. Carbon fiber holding up very well, really beautiful. It's I think this is now standard on the 2022s and going forward. Somebody had mentioned that in the comments. So that's good news, because this was a $500 upgrade. It's very deep, and you can tell it's not just tape, it's actual carbon fiber. I love it. It looks really great, especially when it's all cleaned up. Let's go back out here. Lorenzo has been asking about the sound of the exhaust. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let's see here, I'm going to set it up. And this is another thing, you get really used to just kind of running around this this tablet. You get used to what's behind it. It does make sense after a while. It is comprehensive. It just takes a little while to comprehend it. So really good. So I put it, as you can see, I put it on dynamic. That is the most sport tuned setup that you can get. You could do individual, in which you can go between balance and support and what have you, but it is the dynamic that really gives it a little bit more edge. Okay, and so let's listen to the exhaust here. You do have a little bit of a muffle, and we'll take it for just a quick spin around the block, and you can really hear it gurgle as you go through the gears. So the paint has held up very well. I love this green, deep green pearl effect, insane color. So if anybody is on the fence on what color they should get, you should definitely take a look at this color, because it is something that is very unique. I'm gonna try to get up close. I don't know if you can actually see the depth in here. You could see the clouds, or the reflection off of it. So the one thing that I would suggest everybody to get is a clear bra. First and foremost, I'm gonna be getting one relatively soon. Even though you have this really sizable grill here, you can see it's still kind of wet. I just washed it. You do get chips up in here. You can see this. There's some other smaller ones throughout. I was behind a truck, and couldn't get out of the way, and that's what happened. So if you do have a clear bra on there, that will definitely save that front end. The wheels clean up very nicely. It does take a little bit of work. Even after washing it, I still have to go through and detail parts of it, but you do need brushes to get into the barrels, and you should always wash these barrels because of the openness of the wheel. If you keep it really if you don't wash it and it's really dirty, it's going to detract from the presence of the wheel. So definitely something to get. You can get them on Amazon or Griot's Garage. They have a whole bunch of different sizes and the kinds that kind of tuck in behind here, as well as get inside these little grooves, and the bigger ones that get the entire barrel. It's really nice also when these calipers are clean, so those types of instruments will get into all the nooks and crannies in here, and it'll save your fingers from 1,000 cuts. The wheels themselves, the tires, after about 5,000 miles, barely worn. Again, I don't drive it like a maniac, but I do get on it, especially going around turns, and they are holding up very well. So unless they start to kind of peel off after a while, they are wearing very nicely. So let's see here. Let me get close up here. Lorenzo, I am going to put this down, and I'm going to get in the car and so the sound of the exhaust, sorry for the hand, so the sound of the exhaust isn't over the top, but it does have a slight gurgle to it, and especially when you drive and you go through the gears, it really does sound super nice. That's when you really hear it. Unfortunately, I can't follow myself driving, so you'll have to take my word on that. I think it was in my last video as well that we went through that. The seat is wet because my back is wet from the water. Got sprayed by the hose, but this is wearing very nicely, and I would definitely consider this, especially if you're in the hotter parts of the country. I would consider this over the leather, not only for the fact that it doesn't get hot, but it stays cool. It doesn't get overly cold. You don't have to, outside of these side bolster areas, you don't have to constantly put cream on it, and it just feels, in my opinion, feels much better on your skin when you're driving, especially after getting in it into the car after being at the beach. So I think I covered hopefully some of the things, or most of the things you guys wanted me to go over. If there's anything else, definitely let me know, and I will do a follow-up to this follow-up, and kind of hopefully answer your questions. I know that some of you have ordered your cars, and it'd be interesting to see how long they take to come in now with the chip issue. Mine took just a little bit over 5 months to come in. I don't know if that has been extended now given the supply issues, but definitely leave a comment if you have or are ordering one. I hope that whatever I've done here, if you do go this route, that I helped out to some degree in making your decision. Now again, there are other cars in this segment. The M340i, I think the M440i Grand Coupe just came out, so that would be more in tune with this car. Mercedes has a couple of designations. I'm not too up to date on the designations of their cars, but they do have a good brand as well. I guess it comes down to personal taste and what you like, but ultimately what really makes up the car is how you set it up. The color, it's all in the color combination. Again, if you look at the S5 badging on the side, and then you look at the wheel and the caliper setup, that kind of flows, one flows into the other with the black, the polished, and the red, and you see that in here as well. I went over that in the last video, but it just kind of goes into, you know, the color scheme, the interior, on how it pops against the exterior. The paint color is definitely, you know, your primary thing in your wheels that people are going to see, and that most importantly you're going to see when you turn around and look at it after you parked and you're walking into work or wherever you're going. So, you know, take your time and definitely check out those exclusive colors. I know that there's a premium on that, but what I did was I did not go to the Prestige package, and I stayed with the Premium Plus and got all the tidbits that I truly wanted. And I switched out the cost of going up a trim level to this paint color. So, you know, there's a whole palette. I have a video posted out there with that palette. So definitely check it out. I don't think too many people went out on there because they're not aware of those colors that are out there, and usually the dealer doesn't tell you because they want to sell you something that's right on the lot. So with that, I will leave you guys. Please leave any comments, subscribe, and, you know, let me know what you guys want me to do. If you want me to do different cars, you know, I could go to a car dealership and ask them to, you know, if I could do a video or a review of their cars and kind of go through it somewhat like how I've done here. Or if you want me to get into a little bit more of people who own some vintage cars, like if I go to a car show and kind of walk around and get some feedback from the people who actually own these cars and why, and the passion that goes along with them. So anyway, let me know, subscribe, leave some comments, and we'll chat later. Thank you guys.